Ryan Garcia has officially tested positive for steroids, and today we're going to take a look at what this means for him going forward and what this means for the Devin Haney fight. I'm Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. All right, guys, so according to Dan Rafael, and this has been reported by plenty of other outlets, Ryan Garcia's B samples came back and he was positive for ostarine. Now, first we're going to talk about what is a B sample? Now, I've mentioned this on my channel before, but I actually have some experience with drug testing. Given that I played college baseball, I was subject to drug testing in the past. When you get drug tested, you will have to provide an A sample and a B sample. That means whatever they take from you for the drug test, hair, blood, urine, whatever it is, they're going to take 2 samples of that. The reason being is that they test one of them, that's your A sample, and if it comes back negative, no problem, we go on our merry way, you passed your drug test. But if you come back positive for a banned substance, they give you essentially an opportunity to prove that it was a false positive and that you didn't actually have that supplement in your system. The same way that all types of tests can come back positive when there was nothing in your system, such as, viruses or drugs, things like that. Drug testing is not a perfect science, and things like this can happen. So that's why they take 2 samples of each so that they can run, if you come back positive and you dispute that sample, they can test that second sample, your B sample, and see if you're positive on both samples. Because if you're positive in the B sample as well as the A sample, you're on steroids. If the B sample comes back negative, it was probably a false positive. So this post from MMA Fighting says Ryan Garcia B sample reportedly test positive for banned substance in the Devin Haney fight. On Thursday, lab results reportedly came back on Ryan Garcia's B sample collected for his fight against Devin Haney, with the sample testing positive for the banned substance ostarine. Boxing reporter Dan Rafael revealed the results on Twitter after the tests were conducted by VADA for Garcia's April 20th win over Devin Haney. And this is what Ryan Garcia had to say on Twitter about it. He says, "Let's go, we positive. Positive vibes, bruh. Yes, so happy." And then he goes on to say, "I fucking love steroids." He also says, "I don't care if I never make money again in boxing. Your loss, not mine, for setting me up. LOL, jokes on y'all. I will swallow all steroids." Now, he has gone on to delete some of the tweets that he's put up, but look, Ryan Garcia tried to make it look like a setup, tried to make it look like they were trying to take away a win that he got fair and square because he was supporting religion, because he was speaking out against the elites. But the fact of the matter is, aside from all of that, he tested positive. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that he meant to have this in his system. This doesn't mean that he intentionally took it. In my opinion, when people test positive for steroids, 99% of the time, 90% of the time, they intentionally took it. Now, they can play the tainted supplement card, but because that does happen, but I'd say the vast majority of the time, people intentionally took a banned substance to get a leg up on their competition. Now, they say that Ryan Garcia got his hair tested because, for those of you that don't know, substances will test positive through a hair test much longer than they will through a urine test or a blood test. For some reason, it stays in your hair for a long time. And it says, Ryan Garcia had his hair tested and his legal team says it came up negative. Believe that there was contamination caused positive test. But it's certainly possible that it was in his system during, urine, blood, whatever they took during fight week, and that now it's out of his system. So I'd like more clarity on when they tested his hair. You can't just say, "Oh, he's clean now. He didn't use steroids." But I do want to say that it is absolutely a possibility that he took a tainted supplement. This happened in 2018 or 2019 with now UFC Bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley, where he tested positive for the exact same banned substance, which is known as ostarine. And then we went over in a previous video, which I'll link in the description, what ostarine is. Now, it says, it would be easy to understand if Sean O'Malley was filled with nothing but rage after he missed 2 years of his career due to drug testing issues. He was initially pulled from a fight back in 2018 due to a potential violation of the USADA doping policy. Eventually issued a 6-month suspension after testing positive for the banned substance ostarine. O'Malley then faced a second 6-month suspension for testing positive for the same substance. Through it all, O'Malley maintained his innocence, and USADA ultimately deemed the levels of ostarine in his system were consistent with taking a contaminated supplement that was out of his control. In recent months, USADA has taken steps to improve the UFC's anti-doping policy to deal with cases similar to O'Malley's by setting a threshold for certain banned substances that won't flag an athlete for a doping violation. Fighters who fit the criteria won't be subject to any penalties or sanctions and will be allowed to compete without an interruption to their careers. Now, in defense of Ryan Garcia, it is certainly possible that it was through a tainted supplement, but this would not be the first time that a high-level, big-name, huge pay-per-view star boxer that fights for Golden Boy Promotions has tested positive for a banned substance. Now, Canelo Alvarez is no longer with Golden Boy. He left the promotion in 2020, but in 2018, before his fight with Triple G, he did test positive for a banned substance called clenbuterol and blamed the result on tainted Mexican beef. As noted by boxing analyst Max Kellerman, the explanation could be plausible depending on the levels of steroids that were found. Now, again, I don't want to rule anything out, but this is the same, in my opinion, this is the same BS explanation that Alistair Overeem said that he ate tainted horse meat, and that's what caused a positive drug test for him. Now, it lines up to me, when I look at it, it lines up in my head. Okay, blaming something that they ate, saying it was on accident, and they're from the same promoter. They probably have the same group of people around them that could suggest them different types of banned substances under the explanation or promise that they would get away with it and get a leg up on the competition. Something else that I think is worth noting is how much people were referring to the difference in Ryan Garcia's physique from the Tank Davis fight to the Devin Haney fight. And many people were citing the rehydration clause that Tank Davis implemented on Ryan Garcia, which basically meant that he would have had to weigh in again on fight night. He would have had to weigh in on Friday, make weight, and then have to weigh in again on Saturday and be under a certain weight, basically showing that he didn't bulk up too much, so still being depleted and not putting on too much weight. Now, many people have cited the difference in his face, his physique, as a rehydration clause. Now, what I think is definitely possible is Ryan Garcia took a banned substance. It was almost a year later, same weight class as well, took a banned substance, put on an extreme amount of muscle, and then was able, due to no rehydration clause against Devin Haney, able to have a much more difficult weight cut and then rehydrate back to whatever his size was on fight night. And also, don't forget, he missed weight as well. So that could also show that he put on a lot of muscle in a year and he didn't take the weight cutting process properly. Now, I know many people are going to defend Ryan Garcia, and I know that many people are going to say that this was a setup, boxing's dirty, whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is he tested positive twice. His physique has changed dramatically in the last year, and the fight's going to be changed to a no contest. So the facts are out there, and you guys can argue in the comments about what you think really happened. But there's my take, there's my explanation for Ryan Garcia testing positive for a banned substance called ostarine during the Devin Haney fight. Devin Haney's undefeated record will be restored, and Ryan Garcia's win will be changed to a no contest. See you guys. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you want access to extra content aside from my regular videos, click the link in the description down below to become a channel member and get access to members-only live streams and other bonus perks. Or click the join button on our channel homepage. And if you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, check out my weekly podcast, the Hissyfit podcast, and check out my personal channel, Wyatt's World. I'll have them both linked in the description down below. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.